Well, hello there, sunflowers, and how are you guys today? Well, I am here to do, as you see, some cards have been spread out. However, before I dive into these cards, a subscriber has requested a reading on Kendrick Lamar and his wife. So I did a little bit digging. There is apparently not much information about them. They are like tight-lipped about their relationship, which is not something you get in and with these celebrities. So I really appreciate the fact that we don't know too much about their relationship, but also because we don't know too much about their relationship, I understand why we're curious about what's going on in their relationship because they are high school sweethearts. Literally met, were friends, best of friends, apparently, and then moved into. So, they started off as that friend, and then that best friend, and then that best friend turned into a lover. So, that seems like the transition, a very beautiful, loving story indeed. I love that. However, even though that's the story, in 2015, so 10 years ago, they got engaged. And that was the end of the story. Oh, but they had two kids after that, though. But that was the end of the story. Where did the marriage? Where'd it go? So that's something that's very curious. However, I was curious who his wife is. Whitney Alford. She apparently has a brand or company called Love and Ethos. This is very fitting. I love this about protecting women and giving help to women during their maternity, their motherhood, helping them adjust with the process, just everything. Love and ethos, love for the earth, love for giving birth, and just beautiful. I love the sound of the name of the brand, and also the fact that I feel like I've actually heard of this brand before, but I can't quite put my finger on where I've seen this brand around. However, because it's all good and all dandy, and she made a company for women to band together and come together and support each other, which rah rah hurrah for women. I enjoy that for sure. It does make me wonder, where did that initial spark or idea came about? So with that being said, that's pretty much all we really know about their relationship. And that's all I found on a few articles. And that was like literally posted just within the last month or so. So it seems like their relationship is just being talked about yet again. But here I pulled some cards to see what could I even read on for their relationship, because there's so much not spoken about them that it's up to the cards to say what's going on with their relationship, because it is questionable. So I see here the first card that came out was the Four of oh, hold up. I'm going to help you guys out today. So the first card that came out was the Four of Swords. If I can just get to the swords. Slippity doo dah, my way to the swords. There's the Four of Swords. And then lastly, I need the Cups card. Oh, okay. The Cups is right here in the middle somewhere. Oh, yes, there we are. The Cups were hidden. Okay. So the first card that I had pulled out was the Four of Wands, Four of Swords, which was upside down. And when that card came upside down, it talks about having a burnout or mental strength, or needing mental strength at this time because you're dealing with a mental burnout, or you're just exhausted because there's so much energy, so much movement, so much momenta going with his career. For Kendrick Lamar, his career is like really picking up. Like, he's had a pretty good solid career. That's why he is where he is. But it's like he hit the pulse and the frequency, and that just skyrocket him like it was nothing. And now he's like in the stratosphere. And because of that, that A is an adjustment for him and his wife, because yes, while he is a rapper and he has always been rapping and has always been into rapping, um he's on tour, he's done the Super Bowl. Let's not talk about how many months he probably had to practice for that performance, as well as the other people around him. Not to talk about the amount of energy and time that has to go into putting in to an album like that. And he still released music after that. So he's like boom, 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 boom on a roll right now. And because of that, it can lead to a burnout. It can lead to you just him and his wife just both being mentally exhausted with his career and having to be they not like us, basically, because that's honestly what has catapulted him to this huge stardom, because he won a beef against Drake, allegedly, supposedly. The beef is still going on. I don't know. We know how rapper beefs go. They can go on for years. They mysteriously start and then they mysteriously keep having legs to grow on. However, because of that, it seems like at this moment, Kendrick Lamar and his wife, Allison, not Allison, who is Allison? Whitney, it seems like when it comes to their relationship too, not even talking about his career, but just when it comes to their relationship period, the fact that there hasn't been maybe enough time for them. I mean, like high school's at least 20 years post since they've known each other. So that's a good amount of time to really know somebody, but to know somebody and not commit to a marriage, but live the life of basically you're basically living the life as a committed partner and living the life of having the children and being parents. It's like being married without literally having it written down on papers is what it seems like. Maybe this is the new type of type of pulse and frequency that relationships are going to start to do in the future, because we've got to think he's a little bit forward thinking. He was able to touch on something that the audience was able to connect with, and because of that, some of the things that he could do behind the scenes, behind closed doors, could mirror the pulse of the general public. These celebrities are a mirror of society, after all. There's a place and time for everything. So because of that, we see here right now in the present moment, or what's just going on here in the center, the central focus is the Five of Wands, which is quite interesting that the five is in the middle because it represents a balance, but also at the same time, it's friction with juggling the balance. And what is he juggling the balance between? Well, the Four of Swords, like I was just talking about, but also earlier here, which I'm going to tap onto, is the Page of Cups. And he himself right now is having some friction, having some conflict in his career, in the sense of the fact that he could have a rivalry with Drake, and because of that, that has put some more time and energy that he needed to take away. When you're that invested and you have that much energy focused on a diss track, then other parts of your life do not receive as much as attention as they could, because this is your focus. This is your moneymaker. This is what's making and paying the bills. Not saying his wife doesn't either, but you know what I mean by the fact that his career is just, it's not even walking, it's escalating up. It's just because of that. He has worked so hard to get to the status that he is right now. Really, why would he let that go? Really, why else would he really not let anything else fall off to the side? Be like, I love you, boo, but my career first. You understand. You know how much I worked for this. You know how much I wanted this. Just, I still love you though, but I got other things I need to focus on right now, and that's what the Five of Wands is symbolizing the fact that there is this tension that's being created in their marriage on top of other things. This was just this is just another thing to add on to it, because this tension goes deep. High school sweethearts, 20 years post high school at least, and we're still not married, and half of that was spent engaged plus. So who is really not committing and why? Like, where there's commitment but not fully committed. It's like 90% committed. It's like what's stopping you from being fully invested? And that could be the career. And maybe, who knows, that maybe could be another sacrifice he has to do. Because if he getting up there in the echelons like that, man, I don't know. He might need a sacrifice. I'm just saying. Price got to be paid, right? However, we see here in the future, it's the Page of Cups. It's like, finally, it's right here, it says idealism, but it symbolizes a fact of finally reaching and coming to the pinnacle. You know how when you've worked hard for something, you wanted something so badly, you're trying to manifest it and do everything in your willpower, that when you finally do achieve it, it's an emotional time for you and your significant other too, that's along with you at this time. But because it's something that he's put all of his energy into and invested himself in, like I said, with this Five of Wands, to finally have what he's always wanted, I finally got it, but there's more I can go for. It's like finally is able to take that next level. It's like, now that I finally got here, I got another goal. Another goal. I can go somewhere else. I can get even higher. So because of that, he's thinking of his career and where it can go from here. And because of that, as I said, when you're so focused on some other things are going to go to the side and is not fully invested. And because he has already established, even though he's already established enough time in this relationship, 20 years at least, what's another like 1 or 2 years because of his career, right? Put it into perspective. So I just want to pull some cards to see. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not going to pull these cards. I do love these cards. I will just pull one card. Hopefully I blew away the problem there. You saw that. All right. Kendrick. How is your career affecting your love life? How is the career? Oh. Okay. 3 cards wanted to come out. That will tell me everything. So, wow. What's actually interesting is that all these cards are upside down, really. So, since they're facing me, literally, everything is pointing at me. I have this sprouting plant directed towards me, like it's blossoming and growing towards me. I have all the swords that is facing this butterfly directed at me. So I feel like I'm the butterfly with all the swords facing at me. And I'm like, whoa there. And then here we have the snake, but whatever the snake is doing, it has the wand, and the wand is pointing at me, but kind of away from me, but it's still like that bippity boppity boop in your direction, kind of what I'm getting. So all that to be said about how I feel like these cards are, and me as the reader, and since I'm reading for Kendrick Lamar, how Kendrick Lamar is feeling is that everything is internalized. He's internalizing everything. All the mundane things that is going on, because every card I picked is mundane because it's a minor arcana. So it's not like there's anything too deep or too heavy. It's just the little things in life that pop up that keeps both of them equally distracted from being married, but just the fact that they have a seemingly solid foundation of love with each other, that they are still together. Maybe now, if it's keep up a facade, I'm not quite sure. He needs a story or a backstory of how he grew up. This is started from the bottom, now I'm here kind of story. However, how his career is affecting his love life. Well, his career is blossoming and it's overgrowing and it's invading his relationship because it kind of feels like weeds and vines that are usually growing up so beautifully and having the room, but because they're directed inward, think of it like an ingrown hair or like an ingrown nail. It just reverted back inside of itself. So because of that, his career, while being fruitful, is also eating away at his relationship. And the eight of it just kind of looks cool like this upside down. But the eight of swords here symbolizes, usually eights symbolize moving on. No moving on here, which is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing because sometimes you do need to move on, but it's a good thing because that does mean that they aren't going to break up and that they really do have some sort of solid foundation, that they're not just going to, that whatever this is, it's a fleeting moment. It's not going to be a make or break where she's just like, hey, you have to be home or else, or give up your career or else. Like it's not like she's giving him an ultimatum, but maybe he could be feeling the weight and pressure of it himself, where he's thinking about his kids. He's like, I want this legacy for my kids. I want to support, I want to be that man. I want to be able to show up. I want to be able to provide, you as the woman, you doing your thing. That's great. Love that. Supporting you. But over here, I want to do my thing. I want to feel like I'm equally putting forth and I'm not just out here like some broke artist trying to get known because I'm from like, what did it say that? Did I read he was from California? Compton, is that correct? So you already know the history and the legacy and the name that comes from when you grow up from Compton. So because of that, it's like he has something to prove within himself. And he's even said it, that everyone that he has with him has been there since day one, which you know what that means. He has a sense of holding on to connections and valuing people and the work that they put to his dream to support him, and he gives back to them. So it's like an equal take and give. Like, thank you for supporting me and I will support you back. When I make it, you make it kind of deal. If I make it, you make it, we all make it. Hey, the whole state of California has made it because Kendrick Lamar has made it. That's how he's feeling. He quit walking. Hey, Drake, he's feeling himself. And because of that, we see here the Daughter of Wands, which is honestly interesting. But the daughter is another page. And just like the Page of Wands is right underneath the Page of Cups, this page is directed inwards. At first, he was realized and he finally made his dream tangible and he's reaping the benefits of it. But also at the same time, like I said, going back to this Four of Wands upside down, he's feeling a sense of weary or tiredness or exhaustion and he needs a break. It's like, I'm glad I'm on this pentacle. I'm glad y'all are really loving they not like us. Thank you. But can we kind of move on? I have so much better, greater works out there. But before I move on, can I please catch a breather and a breath for myself? I love you guys, but I need some time for myself. I'm so out expressive in the world that when I get home, I really don't even have time for myself, is how Kendrick Lamar is feeling. Because he's like, once I feel like I got time for myself, I still gotta be a father and a partner all at the same time. So when do I really get some Kendrick Lamar time where I really get to sit down and pamper myself as a man would, however a man pampers himself? So because of that, that's how he could be feeling. And because of that, like I was also talking about earlier, he can maybe not show up the best way he could in his life in all areas because his career is just taking up so much energy of him. He is showing up like probably 25% in everything else he's doing, while 75% is going towards his career. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading on Kendrick Lamar and his wife, Whitney Alford, and not his wife, sorry, correction, his fiance. Well, they're basically a married couple at this point, in my opinion. His not claimed wife yet. I think he also talked about how he doesn't want to put labels on anything either. So he's a bit contemporary and different on top of that. So because of that, he's just, let me get, is he in it? Is he an Aquarius? I looked up his age, but I did not look up his zodiac sign. Oh, a Gemini. Yeah, that makes sense. That it actually makes a lot of sense. As a Gemini, I could see the mental burnout that could come from his career, but he's also very social, but also he has another side to him that we as the public don't see. We the public see a side of him that he presents to us. That's his social persona, Kendrick Lamar. But then there's the Kendrick Lamar behind the face, behind the persona that his longtime partner, fiance, gets to see. And that's that duality of that twin. She gets to see a side of him that we don't get to see. And maybe that's another thing that keeps them teeter-tottering. But let's look. Let's see. She was born May 12th. May 12th. Zodiac. Oh, and she's a Taurus. She's in there for the long run. Yep, she can definitely stay there and support him. A Taurus and a Gemini, buddies right next to each other. So they are able to understand each other. One is much more physical and tangible. Maybe she helps him ground when he's feeling too energetic is the best way I could say it. When he's feeling too energetic, maybe she can bring him and ground him. And how could his hair help her? You know, she could, the best way I could say, because it's really hard to move Earth. So it's really like what can really affect Earth other than fire, truly. But with air, you know, air and dust, it can come together and it can create a mixture. And this mixture can just, wow, I'm going really into science here. But just thinking about how the two elements of fire, not fire, how earth and air are combining to each other. Here we go. Earth is masculine, feminine. Yep, masculine, feminine, and air is masculine, feminine. So in and of that itself, they were able to understand each other on multiple levels and able to balance each other out, round each other out, and connect on levels that, because they're neighbors on the zodiac too, it also makes it a little bit easier. And because they are just 1 year apart, they really don't have too much difference in their zodiac planets, besides just a slight degree move, depending on if it's an outer or an inner planet. But because of that, they are a whole lot of similar than they are different. So for that, that's something that can draw them together and keep them together, because the things that are really similar about them must be something that really keeps them solid, tight, locked together, that they was just like, hey, we got to commit to each other so that way we can show the world that we are off the market, even though we may not appear like we're off the market. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you sunflowers in the next one. Please give this video a thumbs up if you have not given it a thumbs up already. It would really mean a lot to the channel. We would really appreciate it. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed already. That would even mean a lot more. However, another thing that I would like to ask is for you guys to share the content. If you enjoyed this reading on Kendrick Lamar, or if you would like a reading on Kendrick Lamar, or not Kendrick Lamar, but if you would like a reading on another celebrity, please leave your comments down below. And I think I've run through it all. So, with that being said, I really love you, sunflowers. Please and thank you. I hope you enjoyed this content. I sure did. I felt like I actually walked out learning a whole lot more about their relationship than I sure did. I see why they keep their relationship under wraps, because it's just best that way, honestly, in today's world. The less voices and the less people in your relationship, the less voices and the less influence you have to end your relationship, because it's only you and your partner's energy in the mix. And when he's all out there in the industry and is mixed up with everybody's energy, he's bringing all types of energy back home that could disrupt their family unit energy that they've created together in their household. So now, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will see you guys in the next one. Sunflowers.